morning. Good to have you with us on a Tuesday. I'm Joe Fryer.
And I'm Savannah Sellers. We begin this morning, of course, in Texas, where a desperate search for survivors enters day 5, even as the focus begins to shift to recovery and as the number of reported deaths rises to over 100 people across 6 counties. The majority of them in Kerr County. That is where those 10 Camp Mystic campers and 1 counselor who we told you about yesterday are still missing.
Communities are coming together to hold vigils for the victims, while volunteers from across the country join the search for survivors. With so many questions about why so many people were swept away during the floods, officials are now starting to focus on the lack of alert systems. Kerr County has no siren system, despite being located in what meteorologists call Flash Flood Alley. Some local officials had said it was too expensive. Well, now state leaders are saying that needs to change.
We should have sirens up and down these flash flood alleys that we have in Texas. And if we had sirens like they have in Israel for a rocket attack, that might have saved some lives.
A flash flood warning remains in effect for parts of central Texas through Thursday, with even more rain on the way. NBC News correspondent Jay Gray joins us now from Kerrville, Texas, where dozens are still missing. Jay, good morning.
Joe, Savannah, good morning to you. And speaking to the search, the rescue, the recovery, it is still going on around the clock. Hundreds of first responders, including those in the air. We've seen before sunrise here multiple choppers scanning this area. We want to give you a firsthand look as well at some of the devastation the floodwaters left behind. The family inside this home escaped as the water and mud started to pour in. And now as this cleanup slowly starts to begin, the recovery is settling into what unfortunately is a somber and very painful rhythm here.
5 days in, and the scope, the magnitude of what's happened here is so hard to comprehend.
This is unprecedented flood events.
With unprecedented consequences. A wall of water in some areas as high as 30 feet, ravaging everything in its path. The destruction stretching for miles across central Texas. Still, the biggest loss here is not fully known.
I need to tell my community and those families who are waiting, this will be a rough week.
More than 100 are dead. That number expected to grow. Dozens still missing. Inside the Dieter Community Center, a place where seniors have gathered for more than 50 years. The water's been pushed out, equipment dried, wet carpet pulled up, and soaked sheetrock put away. The director of the facility stressing it's just a building that can be repaired. Perspective that comes quickly when you see the recovery effort unfolding just outside your door.
They have had bodies yesterday, day before yesterday, right here, and right here in my backyard.
Like so many here, she has friends who are missing, others who've lost children.
We'll never be the same. We'll never, ever forget this. It'll be close in our heart and in our mind and in our soul, but we will be strong.
A strength this community now leans on as the tragedy continues to unfold.
Yeah, it's a community that is grieving, obviously struggling with all that's been lost here. But, Joe, they now must at least start to make a turn toward what's going to be a difficult, long recovery here.
Well, Jay, that recovery is going to be difficult. Survivors will certainly need some help. What are you seeing in terms of support on the ground there?
Well, they are getting it right now. Federal and state agencies helping. You've got a lot of faith-based organizations that are in and providing food and help as well. But it's the volunteers that are pouring in, just individuals, not only from across the state, but across the country, drawn here to try and help those that are in need. This home with an elderly couple, a woman from Corpus Christi along the coast, a long way away from central Texas, with her teenage son, some of his friends just came here to help, wanted to do anything they could, and they've cleaned out multiple homes here, helping those that are suffering try and make a step toward that recovery.
Jay Gray in Kerrville. Jay, thank you.
Well, as the search for the missing continues, questions are growing over why these Texas communities were not told to evacuate sooner. One woman told NBC News correspondent Ryan Chandler that a park along the Guadalupe River was set up for a 4th of July celebration as late as Thursday night when flood watches were already in effect. It underscores just how many people were unaware of the danger that was to come.
Kerrville resident Michelle Pittman had no idea that death and destruction was coming downriver.
You know, this was something that happened that no one was prepared for.
As the urgent search continues, questions and calls for accountability grow about how many in this community were caught by such surprise.
Rest assured, no one knew this kind of flood was coming.
Many questioning why neighborhoods and camps along the Guadalupe River were not told to evacuate earlier.
Very tough to make those calls because what we also don't want to do is cry wolf.
At Camp Mystic, the Texas Lieutenant Governor says campers were awakened only by thunder and lightning. Phones not allowed by camp rules. He's now pushing for state lawmakers to fund more outdoor warning sirens.
We shouldn't have lightning and thunder waking up kids. We should have those sirens. We need to go back step by step, and look at what happened and why it happened.
The National Weather Service says a flood watch at 1:18 p.m. Thursday was elevated on Friday at 1:14 a.m. to urgent flash flood warnings for Kerr County, sending emergency alerts to cell phones and weather radios. Then at 4:03 a.m., an upgrade to a flash flood emergency. But for so many, those warnings went unheard.
Obviously, most people at 1 a.m. and 4 a.m. are asleep. And so I think we will have a reasonable conversation about, are there any ways to have earlier detection?
Senator Ted Cruz defending the National Weather Service amid concerns of staffing shortages, saying Congress will act.
We did see a lot of people heroically taking kids out of harm's way, but it should have happened earlier. How we make that happen, I think, is a very reasonable discussion.
As so many still grieve, many questioning how to prevent the next disaster. Ryan Chandler, NBC News, Kerrville, Texas.
Millions are at risk for severe weather today with temps and humidity levels soaring. Time for your morning news now. Weather.
Yeah, Michelle Grossman's here in studio with us with the latest. Hi, Michelle. Good morning.
Good morning, guys. Yeah, we're going to see temperatures soaring into the 90s. You factor in the humidity. That's going to be a big piece of the puzzle. It's going to feel like the upper 90s to 108 in some spots. We have heat advisories for 54 million people along the East Coast here, from Boston to New York City, Atlantic City, down to Raleigh, and also Florence, South Carolina. We will be very hot today and also tomorrow. There's an area of high pressure pumping in that hot air. So look at all this red and orange on the map, temperatures soaring into the 90s. But you notice that box next to it, the heat index. That's what it feels like on our body, and that's what we need to dress for. So it's going to feel like the triple digits in Nashville and Knoxville. It's going to feel like 101 in Charlotte, feeling like 99 almost to 100 degrees will be the feels like temperature in New York City, and feeling like 107 in Norfolk. As we go throughout tomorrow, we're going to keep that heat in place. Temperatures all across the mid-Atlantic into the southeast, south central states into the 90s. We're looking at 93 in New Orleans, but you factor in the humidity. It will be a factor once again tomorrow. Feeling like 102. It's going to feel like 96 in D.C. It's going to feel like 100 degrees in Charleston, South Carolina. That heat's going to continue, but we're going to see improvement by the end of the week. The heat and the humidity, along with a cold front, a stationary front, will spark some showers and storms, and some of these could reach severe limits. So 38 million people impacted from New York City to Philadelphia, D.C., major hubs. So if you're flying out today, you want to call ahead and make sure that flight is on time. Salisbury, Maryland into Richmond. The hail risk is low. The tornado risk is low. Not zero, though, for either one of those. The biggest risk will be winds gusting up to 60 miles per hour. Also heavy downpour. So we do have a flood threat. We're looking at lots of rain with any of these systems. It's a tropical-like system, so we're looking at locally 5 inches. Where you see those brighter colors, that's where we're expecting the highest amounts of rain, corresponding with those colors on the legend there. So anywhere from New York City down to Raleigh and also Charlotte could see some really heavy downpours leading to flash flooding. Because of that, 47 million Americans are under flood watches, where you see the green, and that does include places like Boston, New York City, D.C., and also Atlantic City. So that's a big story today. Also want to talk about Texas. Right now, looking good. This is good news on radar. We are clear. Recovery efforts are going on right now. Helicopters are out and about, so that is good news. But I do want to mention that we do have the chance of a few pop-up thunderstorms today. Very scattered, very isolated, very difficult, though, to pinpoint. So you need to remain vigilant there. We could see some really heavy downpours with any of these thunderstorms.
All right. Thanks, Michelle. Appreciate it. Over in the Middle East, it's another deadly day for Palestinians in Gaza. The Strip's director of field hospitals told NBC News at least 29 bodies have been brought in so far today as Israel continues to bombard the enclave. Our crew inside Gaza filmed the aftermath of an Israeli airstrike on a clinic in Gaza City. A 5-month-old baby was among those killed.
This is all as President Trump just had dinner with Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu at the White House yesterday. Protesters were gathered nearby. They were calling for Netanyahu to be arrested. That's in reference to the International Criminal Court's arrest warrant against the Israeli leader over alleged war crimes in Gaza, which he rejects. With pressure mounting for a ceasefire hostage deal, the president said it was still on course.
I don't think there is a holdup. I don't think there's a holdup. I think things are going along very well. They just, left each other, and it was not a pleasant period of a few days. It was a little longer than a few days, but this was not a pleasant period of time.
Here to talk about all this and more, NBC News White House correspondent Monica Alba and NBC News International correspondent Matt Bradley. We're also joined by former NSC Director for Syria and Lebanon, Hagar Shamali. Monica, let's start with you. Talk to us about what President Trump and Prime Minister Netanyahu discussed when it comes to Gaza and the prospect of a ceasefire there.
Well, they indicated, Joe, that there could still be a deal as early as this week. But again, we have come to the brink so many times only for those talks to collapse. But both leaders did seem to be fairly optimistic about a short-term arrangement. And that is the real key here, that if both the U.S. and Israel and Hamas can agree to stopping the fighting for a couple of months in exchange for the release of some of the hostages that are still being held, that seems to be where there is an area of agreement. But there are still some major sticking points when it comes to anything beyond that, when it comes to a longer-term solution. And this is where we saw Prime Minister Netanyahu and President Trump not be able to really agree or project a lot of optimism because there isn't an exact agreement on a two-state solution. For instance, when it comes to Israel and Prime Minister Netanyahu, he wants to see the full elimination of Hamas. And so obviously ending this war permanently is a major question here. But there could be some short-term relief, again, to get some of those hostages out. And we know that those talks are continuing, and we know that for his part, the prime minister is going to be in Washington all week long to meet with key players like the vice president and with the special envoy for the Middle East, Steve Witkoff, and to continue some of these conversations even on Capitol Hill as well to see if they can land this politically. But the two leaders really did praise a lot of each other's actions on this, and they are hopeful maybe this will get over the finish line.
Matt, one of those things I want to ask you about was we heard Netanyahu yesterday touting the president's controversial plan to relocate Palestinians out of Gaza. Human rights groups have condemned that as ethnic cleansing. But what do Palestinians and other Arab countries make of that as a plan?
Well, they have roundly rejected it as ethnic cleansing. And this is one of the things we keep hearing, is that the whole reason why this fight was beginning, the whole reason why this conflict exists is because the Israelis have been trying to push out the Palestinians from that area, from what was, the British mandate Palestine. So this is something that is the genesis of this conflict. It's the reason why it's here. And it's one of the reasons why Palestinians don't relent when it comes to the fighting in the Gaza Strip or in the West Bank. So, and it's one of the reasons why Arab states don't necessarily, in most cases, award for places like Lebanon full citizenship to Palestinian refugees who've left, because they see them as in a process of potentially returning to what is now Israel. That hasn't happened for decades. So, this really goes to the heart of this conflict. And it's one of the reasons why it's not just rejected by Palestinians and human rights groups and, academics who say that this is ethnic cleansing. It's rejected by everybody who's involved, who sees themselves as in favor of the Palestinian cause. So this is unlikely to get anywhere, and it's going to probably stand in the way, at least in part, with some of the Netanyahu and President Trump efforts to try to expand those Abraham Accords and possibly bring countries like Saudi Arabia on board, or maybe even Syria and Lebanon. Many of those countries, their publics are already furious at Israel for the mass killings that we've been seeing in the Gaza Strip. They're very angry, and it's going to make it hard for them to ink deals to normalize their relations with Israel.
Hagar, let's bring you in here. Monica touched on the two-state solution, and there was a moment in that meeting when the president was asked about the possibility of a two-state solution. Instead of answering, he yielded the question to Netanyahu, who said Israel should retain overall security control. Of course, the official U.S. position has always been for two states. Do you make anything of that moment? What does it tell us?
So this is the key point, as Monica mentioned. This is the key sticking point. You have, obviously, they're discussing this current ceasefire, and it seems the parties are getting close. Right now, it's with Hamas. Israel has already agreed to this ceasefire plan that would be for 60 days. And throughout those 60 days, they would discuss what would happen after. But there are a lot of details in that after period that are very difficult to come to an agreement to. For example, some of it is about two states, but we're not even close to that, to be honest with you. Who would govern Gaza is the big piece. Everybody agrees that Hamas shouldn't have any power. And by the way, they don't have the ability to govern, even if they'd like to pretend to be the governing authority. But for example, Netanyahu doesn't want the Palestinian Authority, which governs the West Bank, to govern Gaza or to have any peace in it. And so there's still that effort on the Israeli government side to keep the two separate, to prevent talks leading to a two-state solution. Whereas Trump, ultimately, he wants to see a solution, wants to see a permanent end to the war, and then hopefully something that leads to a two-state solution. It's really the European states where you're seeing this pressure for two states, but it's very tenuous. I don't think they'll get that far, but hopefully discussions toward a permanent end to the war.
All right. Hagar, Matt, and Monica, a lot to talk about this morning. Thank you all for joining us.
Now let's get to the economy. Wall Street is looking to rebound today following a sell-off to start the week after President Trump threatened trading partners with new higher tariffs.
The Dow Jones finished the day yesterday down more than 400 points. The S&P and NASDAQ also finished in the red. It was the worst day for the stock market since mid-June. The president announced yesterday several countries will face steep tariffs starting August 1st. Mr. Trump later signed an executive order delaying Wednesday's deadline for countries to renegotiate tariff levels. That new date, also August 1st.
We have NBC News business and data correspondent Brian Chung here in studio with us with the latest. Brian, good morning. So we have seen this many times. We have had this discussion many times, how the market reacts to these changes from the president, like that sell-off yesterday. Do we continue to see that today, or is there any world where the market starts to kind of adapt to these ups and downs and we see less of such a dramatic change within the market?
Yeah, well, as you pointed out, yesterday was not a good day on Wall Street with the Dow Jones down about 1%. This is a pretty, notable performance given that the stock market had been doing relatively well over the 4 or 5 weeks prior to that. But as a reminder, if we zoom out over year to date, it has been a roller coaster ride for the stock market. The Dow Jones is up about 4% year to date, but you have to remember how we got there. We were down something like 10% on the year when the president first announced these so-called reciprocal tariffs in the first week of April. So it seems like despite the headlines continuing on an hourly basis on tariffs, well, the stock market has still basically recovered all those massive losses from earlier this spring. And I do think that even despite some of these letters going out and the concern that this new August 1 deadline could come with higher tariffs at that point in time, I think investors are a little bit more numb to it than they were a few months ago. But of course, if I knew what the stock market was going to do, I'd be working about 4 miles south of here.
Yeah, no kidding. When we talk about who received those letters, Japan and South Korea were on that list. What should we read why that is, and just what does come next?
Yeah, and the president posted the letters that he sent to those countries on Truth Social in full. Japan and South Korea were first, announcing a 25% tariff effective August 1st. But there were a number of other countries that he posted letters for in the hours afterwards, including Indonesia, Bangladesh, Serbia, Cambodia, Laos. These are countries that aren't even major trading partners in some cases. South Korea and Japan, we do significantly more trade with. The letters are basically identical in language. The only change between them is the tariff rate. So again, 25% for Japan and South Korea, basically in line with what the president had announced on that big poster board in the Rose Garden that first week of April. For other countries, a little bit higher, like Laos, for example, at 40%. And that was interesting because the poster board said 48%. So the numbers are a little bit different here. But again, what that means is just a few extra weeks of negotiating because, yes, July 9th was the 90-day expiry date for that temporary pause, but the press secretary, Caroline Leavitt, saying yesterday the president would be signing an executive order that would extend that to August 1st. It basically means more time for these countries to negotiate.
Let's also talk, Brian, about the U.S. dollar showing this sharp decline this year. 11% it's tumbled through June. That makes it the worst first half of the year for the dollar since 1973. Walk us through this. What are the reasons here?
Yeah, and by the way, the comparison of 1973 was when the entire dollar regime changed because we were no longer pegging it to gold. So that is not a good comparison.
Right.
But the big story for why the dollar has weakened, I think, is because of concerns over the deficit, the ballooning debt here in the United States, which has some investors maybe going to non-dollar denominated assets to try to seek a little bit more safety. But I think the overall story here, too, is that the president actually would prefer a weaker dollar because that makes it cheaper for other countries to buy American goods. That's the kind of MO of all of this policy, is to try to get other countries to buy more American products. But yeah, certainly the dollar being weaker is also bad for American tourists that are going abroad. Speaking personally, I was in Asia, and it was 7 to 8% more expensive than it was at the beginning of the year.
It was better a few months ago, I can tell you that.
Yeah, I was going to say, I know you're going abroad in a few days from now. So.
Exactly. All right.
Yep. Thank you, Brian.
Thanks, Brian. Appreciate it. A group of leading medical organizations is suing Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and the Department of Health and Human Services. They're focused on recent COVID-19 vaccine changes, saying the Trump administration is undermining vaccine confidence.
The lawsuit argues that the administration's policy of recommending that pregnant women and healthy children should not receive the COVID-19 vaccine poses an imminent threat to public health.
For more on this, let's bring in NBC News legal analyst Danny Savalos. Danny, good morning. So this lawsuit's been filed by groups including the American Academy of Pediatrics, the American College of Physicians, and the American Public Health Association. These groups aren't asking for money. Tell us what they are asking for.
No, they're not asking for money. They're essentially looking to vacate this decision by the secretary. And they're arguing essentially a common claim, which is called the Administrative Procedure Act. And essentially, they're arguing that however the agency arrived at this final decision, and it must be a final decision, that's one of the elements, they did so without the proper procedures. Generally, as a rule of thumb, there are a lot of defenses to this because there's so much discretion in the agency to make these decisions. But the argument is essentially not that you didn't have the power, agency, to make this decision. It's that you didn't show your work in the right way. These are very difficult lawsuits to win.
Danny, as well as these organizations, one of the plaintiffs is an unnamed woman who is pregnant and wants to get the COVID vaccine. Walk us through, the power of that. Well, having an actual person who says that they were actually impacted by these recommendations help this case?
Yeah, I believe it could be a physician who is also pregnant. And this is, to me, an example of how you try to choose your plaintiffs in a way that you can secure standing. Sure, you have the organizations, but the court may conclude that these organizations, their interest in the outcome is too remote for some reason. So you add a plaintiff, somebody who is an actual, boots on the ground, somebody who wants to benefit from or will be harmed by this policy. And then you can say, well, if you say the agencies don't have any power or standing to bring this case, here's a plaintiff who this directly affects. She's pregnant. This is important to her, and she would be affected by the outcome. She has a stake in the outcome. And that's sort of how you insulate your lawsuit against claims that the plaintiffs don't have standing. You often see this sort of diversity in the kinds of plaintiffs so that you can cover all your bases and argue someone in this group has a concrete interest in the outcome.
So overall, what will the plaintiffs have to prove for this lawsuit to succeed? And could this open the door for future legal action from people who claim they were harmed by this administration's health policies?
A claim under the Administrative Procedure Act argues that the agency didn't follow the proper process in arriving at its final determination. So right away, you can think of some of the obvious defenses that jump out. What if they claim they did follow the proper procedure? Or it may be a situation as a defense where the agency has the discretion to make whatever decision they want, and their determination that they followed the proper procedure could be enough. So this is a very uphill battle for these plaintiffs because the legislation gives the agency so much power to make these determinations. These are tough cases to win.
All right, Danny, thank you so much. We should note that neither the CDC nor HHS have publicly commented on the suit, but the HHS has said that the decision to receive the COVID vaccine should be made after consulting your doctor.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.